Hello everyone, I just wanted to make a little quick analysis video explaining Waterworld, but I went down to subscribers. To change that, whoever's watching this video, please subscribe. I want to get to a lot of subscribers. Not that discouraged me that I lose subscribers, although I wonder why people unsubscribed, probably because not from uploading for a month. But yeah, so I hope you enjoyed this video and please subscribe. It will make me very, very happy. And if you don't subscribe, I wouldn't mind that much. I'll just wonder why. Anyway, on to the video. So Waterworld. It was a movie. Okay, it wasn't necessarily a good movie, but it was still a movie. Released in 1995. This movie was a massive box office bomb. Didn't make its money back at all. It was the most expensive film at the time, so of course it bombed. And plus it had Kevin Costner, that just made it all the worse. Now, even though this film is actually a very unique film in its premise, it's about how all of the ice caps have melted, and now the world is just one big fat blanket of water. But this one mutant seaman takes a woman and a little girl with a map on her tattooed on her back, try to find this place called Dryland, which is the map on the girl's back is the map to Dryland. You just need to find. Yeah, it's very confusing. But there is an aspect of this film that I think could actually happen in real life. Not the whole Dryland thing where the mutant seaman or Kevin Costner. That is completely bullcrap, and that could never happen whatsoever. Classic post-apocalyptic films. However, the one thing I do want to talk about, and I do find interesting, is the whole ice caps and melting and the water and the world being full of water. If you haven't been keeping up with the news, global warming and climate change are four words that get people all fouled up. Where the moment you mention it, people just start going crazy over it. So if you don't know what it is, I think global warming, actually neither do I, but my best guess is that global warming has to do with people using fossil fuels and the world heating, while climate change, I believe, is like the world heating. So the ice caps will melt, and then the world will basically become, well, Waterworld. Take it from me, or rather, take it from real life lore, who actually made a video about how will Earth change if all the ice melts. It's actually a really good video, and I will link it in the description below so you can watch on how it works. But basically, the video is about that how if climate change continues, then basically the entire ocean, the polar ice caps of Antarctica, the Arctic, and Greenland will probably melt and submerge a lot of countries, and maybe even the entire world at some point. Which then leads into this little movie right here. This movie is actually really, really ahead of its time, and it actually could be a possibility that Waterworld could happen. Not the aspect of like all the action stuff, like the Seaman, the Dry Land, all that jazz. But what could happen is that right there, polar ice caps melting 7,600 meters above sea level, that it will completely submerge all of Earth. Now, I actually really, really think that this film is ahead of its time in some things, but in other times, it's so out of date. Like, seriously, it's mutant seamen, dry land. That's very unrealistic things. But keep in mind, this is a post-apocalyptic film, so I mean, of course, it could happen. So yeah. Now, according to real life lore, the sea level would actually rise uh, it could take 5,000 years. Actually, no, I'll just play for you myself. Credit goes to Real Life Lore. His video will be in the description.
And the world's glaciers melted into the ocean, it would raise global sea levels by an incredible 68.3 meters. Such a catastrophe would take 5,000 years at the current rate of ice melting to happen, but it would severely alter the geography of our planet. In North America, Vancouver, Seattle, Portland, and most of San Diego and Los Angeles would be underwater. San Francisco.
So yeah, that's basically pretty much it. It would actually take 5,000 years for that to happen. And Waterworld is set in which... That video was made in 2017, so... If I go to a calculator, or a calculator, then it would so 2017, actually no, you know what, forget that, I'm actually going to go by the time of when Waterworld was actually released in 1995, so if we take account into actually being 2,500, into 5,000 years, then it would approximately be the year 6,995. And what year is Waterworld set in? 2,500. And apparently it's risen up to 7,600 meters. So really, it's even more unrealistic because it would take even longer to raise up to that much. However, I'm not saying it won't happen. Eventually, in the very distant future, if the global warming and climate change continues, then basically we will all be submerged, and it would eventually reach that amount. Now, if it takes 5,000 years at the current rate it's going to submerge for 68.5 meters that the world will be submerged, then if we go unrealistic, then yeah, Waterworld could happen in a short amount of time. But I'm not gonna take that information and take it with me everywhere I go. Like I said, it's very unlikely that it will rise to I sound like an Australian. Raise to 7,600 meters, or 24,900 feet if you're American watching this. However, in such a short time. However, just because it's very impossible to happen doesn't mean it's not completely impossible. Could happen, not in that short amount of time, but it still could happen. Oh yeah, and about the film itself, yeah, I don't like it. The acting is very stale, especially from Kevin Costner. The plot is kind of weird at times, but it does have good action and premise, like what I was explaining this entire video. So yeah, that's basically, well, I will do a my thoughts of episode of Waterworld, but at this point, it's probably not gonna happen in a while. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed this little special analysis video. Make sure you subscribe so I can get to 130 subscribers. And episode 30 will actually feature different actors instead of just me all the time. So yeah. I hope you enjoyed this video. And Waterworld is a 4.5 out of 10. Goodbye.